Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1909B, and today's date is July 5th, 2019, and the title of the episode is, Was Marker 1 Just Revealed? Was a Message Sent to the Deep State? Now, before we get started, we've been talking about protecting your devices, protecting yourself from big tech. I mean, it's the year 2019, and if you're not using a VPN by now on your desktop, tablet, or mobile device while you browse the internet, then you're really exposing yourself to a lot of potential danger. Here, let me show you how easy this is. Click Connect. Once I'm connected, my IP address is now different than before. See? This month, Virtual Shield is offering a 4th of July celebration special. Sign up for free for 30-day trial to Virtual Shield VPN and see what the hype is all about. You have nothing to lose. Click the link below. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now, prior to 4th of July, the mainstream media, AOC, and many other individuals were out there, and they were saying that the salute to America, the celebration that Trump put together, it was going to be politicized. And they said that not many people are going to show up to this. They were completely wrong. Number one, Trump did not use this to politicize anything. Secondly, the crowds were absolutely amazing. And there were so many people that showed up to this. And you can see it in pictures. And you can see that every inch was completely filled up. Trump tweeted out the following. A great crowd of tremendous patriots this evening, all the way back to the Washington Monument. Mark Levin tweeted out the following, countering the mainstream media argument. The unhinged media crackpots who spent days trashing the president during the lead-up to the Independence Day celebration once again reveal themselves as contemptible frauds. It was a beautiful event. His speech was patriotic and terrific. There was nothing political about it, and our republic was not turned into a dictatorship, at least not by him, as we heard over and over. I can't say the same for the left's intention and their daily assault on our nation's institutions, and most of the TV media censored the president's speech, refusing to cover it in real time, despite spending untold hours propagandizing against it and the entire event before the July 4th celebration. Absolutely disgusting behavior, yet par for the course. And he's absolutely right. And you can see what their agenda is. It's very simple. Remove the identity of the country. Make people not believe in America. And how do you do this? Well, you remove the history. You say the history of the founding fathers and all those people that created this great country, they're bad. And we need to remove statues. We need to get rid of the Betsy Ross flag. We need to do all of this. Plus, demonize Trump. Why do they need to do this? Well, first of all, they were trying to make this a one-world government. They wanted people divided. Plus, Trump is now in office. They never thought she was going to lose. Trump and the Patriots, they have access to everything. Everything that they were trying to do. This is why they're attacking him so hard, trying to remove him at any cost. Because this is what's called panic. This is what's called fear. And they show the entire world how scared they are every time they open their mouths. And I'm talking about the mainstream media, the politicians, and the rest, the non-elected leaders. Now, we had Kaepernick out there, and he put the kibosh on the Nike sneaker, which had the Betsy Ross flag on the sneaker, saying that, oh, this is offensive. Now, there's many other manufacturers now that are creating sneakers with the Betsy Ross flag. They're doing very, very well. There's gun manufacturers that are putting the Betsy Ross flag on their weapons. And Kaepernick posted an out-of-context Frederick Douglass quote on Twitter for Independence Day. He said the following, "What I have, I or those I represent, to do with our national independence, this 4th of July is yours, not mine. There is not a nation on the earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour. Frederick Douglass. However, remember, context is key. And he took this one sentence and it's completely out of context. So Ted Cruz decided, you know something? I'm going to set him straight. Ted Cruz tweeted out the following in response to what Kaepernick said. You quote a mighty and historic speech by the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass, but without context. Many modern readers will misunderstand. Two critical points. Number one, this speech was given in 1852 before the Civil War, when the abomination of slavery still existed. Thanks to Douglass and so many other heroes, we ended that grotesque evil and have made enormous strides to protect the civil rights of everybody. Number two, Douglass was not anti-American. He was rightly and passionately anti-slavery. Indeed, he concluded the speech as follows. Allow me to say in conclusion, notwithstanding the dark picture I have this day presented of the state of the nation, I do not despair of this country. There are forces in operation which must inevitably work the downfall of slavery. The arm of the Lord is not shortened, and the doom of slavery is certain. I therefore leave off where I began with hope, while drawing encouragement from the Declaration of Independence, the great principles it contains, and the genius of American institutions. My spirit is also cheered by the obvious tendency of the age. And Ted Cruz continued, let me encourage everyone, read the entire speech. It is powerful, inspirational, historically important in bending the arc of history toward justice. And Kaepernick took this completely out of context to try to fit his agenda. Douglass even referred to the Constitution as a glorious liberty document. Read its preamble. Consider its purpose. Is slavery among them? Is it at the gateway or is it in the temple? It is neither, he said. He continued, while I do not intend to argue this question on the present occasion, let me ask, if it be not somewhat singular that if the Constitution were intended to be, by its framers and adopters, a slave-holding instrument, why neither slavery, slaveholding, nor slave can anywhere be found in it? It should be abundantly clear to the reader that Douglass opposed slavery, but had hope that America of all countries could right the wrong. His hope was not misplaced. Now, something very interesting with Kaepernick, because he raised $20,000 in celebrity donations for a group honoring a convicted cop killer. Now, this is very interesting. And you know, this individual, who's a former quarterback, he is on the payroll of those who are trying to push an agenda. And this is why he's so outspoken. This is why he's pushing this so hard. He's making millions and millions of dollars here in the United States. A little bit of a contradiction of what he is doing right now. Now, very interestingly, Trump is considering an executive order on the census citizenship question. And he's looking at all options right now. And he said, we will see what happens. I have 4 or 5 options on the table. And he's looking at everything. Now, what he's doing right now is letting everyone know they already have a plan to get the citizenship question on the census for 2020. And coming out of the American Thinker, they had an idea on how he could do this. And maybe they're going in this direction. They said Trump holds the winning cards of the census citizenship question, both politically and legally. An overwhelmingly majority, 67% of Americans, see such a question as legitimate, despite the media spin, despite what the Supreme Court said. 72% of Americans are extremely proud or very proud of being American, even though the mainstream media is out there saying the American pride has hit an all-time low. It's actually the opposite. But David Rivkin Jr. and Gilson B. Gray, they wrote something in the Wall Street Journal. And they're saying Trump could take this approach. Section 2 of the 14th Amendment provides that if a state denies the franchise to anyone eligible to vote, its allotment of House seats shall be reduced in proportion which the number of such citizens shall bear to the whole number of citizens in such state. This language is absolute and mandatory. Compliance is impossible without counting how many citizens live in each state. The 14th Amendment was adopted in 1868, and this provision meant to secure the voting rights of newly freed slaves, but it wasn't limited to that purpose. An earlier version of Section 2, introduced in 1865, specifically referred to limits on suffrage based on race or color, but the Senate rejected that limitation. The amendment forbids state interference with the rights of all eligible voters, then limited to males over 21. Section 2 also applies to every state, a point Representative John Bingham, the amendment's principal drafter, emphasized during the floor debate. The second section simply provides for the equalization of representation among all the states in the Union, North, South, East, and West. It makes no discrimination. Here's how the president, a man who loves winning, wins. The president should issue an executive order stating that, to comply with the requirements of Section 2 of the 14th Amendment, the citizenship question will be added to the 2020 census. In addition, he can order the Commerce Department to undertake, on an emergency basis, a new Census Act rulemaking. That would trigger another round of litigation. Opponents would choose a federal district court likely to block it again, and the Justice Department would have to seek the Supreme Court's intervention during the summer recess. While rare, such an emergency review has happened before. With the justification for the citizenship question being clear and compelling, the administration should prevail, and they would refer back to the 14th Amendment. And what is the Supreme Court going to say? Oh, we don't like what the 14th Amendment says? Yes, they can spin it in a certain way, but I think Trump and those around him have already planned this out. Now, what's very interesting, we know that Pence was recalled, or actually the plane never took off, and he was called back to Washington before the plane even took off for an unspecified emergency. And he had a planned event in New Hampshire for opioids, and that was completely canceled. Now, nobody knows why this happened, and reporters were asking Trump today, can you please explain this? He told reporters that they will know in about 2 weeks. Now, this is very interesting because today is July 5th. 2 weeks is July 19th. Let's go back to Q's post 3231. And Anon says, ready, sir. Then Q posts a watch, and it has the date the 19th with the time of 4:50. Now, this is very interesting because in 2 weeks, it will be Friday, July 19th. Did Trump just indicate this is marker 1 and they're going to let us know what is going on this date at this time? Maybe. Now, down at the border, we see that the Border Patrol agents, they are now hitting back at AOC and all the others that went down for a tour. They're also hitting back at the mainstream media. Now, a Border Patrol agent decided, you know something, I'm going to show the public what we do here. Take a listen to what the Border Patrol agent has to say.
Good afternoon. My name is Roy Villarreal. I am the Chief Patrol Agent for the Tucson Border Patrol Sector. Today is July 3rd. My goal today is to dispel some of the misinformation that's out there in regards to our detention facilities. So come with me. This is a supply room that is typical in every one of the stations in Tucson Sector. What we have supplies of are diapers, baby wipes, clothing for children marked by gender, age, clothing for men and women. We've got supplies. These are feminine hygiene products that are readily available for any of the detainees. Now come with me as we go into one of our detention cells. What's here in front of me is a supply cart that is available to families and unaccompanied children. What it includes: baby formula, crackers, raisins, tuna fish, Mylar blanket. Here's one of the other aspects. There's a lot of misinformation that we're not allowing people to brush their teeth. This is a toothbrush that is preloaded with toothpaste, and it's provided to everyone and readily available should they want more than one. Now let's look at the biggest misinformation that's out there. Come into the cell with me. Aliens are not forced to drink out of the toilet. Aliens have options. There's fresh water that's provided on a regular basis in a water cooler. There's also water that is provided in this is a combination of toilet and sink, and the sink provides fresh water. The wall is marked as agua potable, which is potable water. There's nothing wrong with this water. We're not forcing aliens to drink out of the toilet. Ladies and gentlemen, as the men and women of the United States Border Patrol continue to safeguard our nation, I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July. Thank you.
Now, as you can see, they are countering everything the Dems were saying, everything the mainstream media was saying, and showing everyone, look, they're getting food, they're getting water, they're not drinking out of the toilets, they're able to brush their teeth, they can get more than one toothbrush, and there's toothpaste already there. And we need to remember something very, very important. This is not a prison. They can leave and go back to Mexico or back to their country or another country. They don't have to stay. Why are they staying? That's the question. Why don't they leave? They're not leaving because they have a roof over their head. They have a bed. They have a shower. They have a toilet. They have a sink. They're getting food. They're getting health care. Limited, but they're getting health care. Why would they want to go back into Mexico where they're living in this gigantic tent, no place to sleep, no running water? Why would they want to make the trek all the way back and take their chances? So, are the facilities that bad? No. They're blowing this out of proportion. Actually, these people are getting better care than the American citizens who are living on the streets today here in the United States as citizens. So the Border Patrol was out there showing you, listen, we're giving them everything we have right now. And they can stay or they can go. It's their choice. Now, very interestingly, Incarnated ET tweeted out the following. Only one aircraft that did flyovers of the 4th of July, Trump's speech showed up on radar. Call sign was Endgame 20, a Coast Guard helo. Endgame 20 equals endgame. Coincidence? End flippin' game. Put this in your thoughts and listen to Q Plus speech again. POTUS told us it's endgame time. Now this is very interesting because yesterday we reported that Jeb Bush tweeted out something very interesting saying that there were 3 presidents that died on the 4th of July. Did the Patriots just send the deep state a message saying this is the end game? 2020. Be prepared. You're going down. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.